Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another little episode of BeyGhum Begums. Today we're talking to a very one more interesting woman, एक और बेगम बेगम जिनका नाम है आयशा आलम, and she's something else. She's always been something else, and I think most people in my generation would remember her very well. And the only thing is that because she recently moved to America, तो थोड़ी वो missing in action है उस तरह. But so Aisha has been an art. Well, she is an artist. She's a theater artist. She is an actress. She started off as a model. She was on all our magazines and screens for a while, for a long time during the 90s and the 2000s in Pakistan, and she's been doing things her own way. And I thought we should talk to her and find out how her journey's been going. So let's meet her. So I'm really excited to have Aisha here today. Someone I have had another very random connection with, and maybe we'll talk about that as well. The story of how we met one day. But before anything else, thank you for being here, Aisha. I'm so excited about this conversation because you are one of the best conversationalists that I know.
Aw. So I just want to say, Neri, I am so excited that you're doing this because from my experience of you, you are so incredible. You have these insights that sometimes people don't even think about. And I love that you have that and you bring that out. So I'm really excited to see how this conversation is going to go. So thank you for inviting me. Yeah.
Where did you start? Like, how did you know that this is the way I am going to approach life?
Oh, wow. That's like right out the door. That's a loaded question. I think बचपन से no it's so you have to understand like this context, right? So as a kid I was always the other, right? So I grew up as a stepchild in the house. I look different. I don't look like the average Pakistani. So I've always grown up as someone on the, like, at least I felt as someone on the outside. I think I've now, in my later years, taken more ownership of, well, no, this is my culture too, and I absolutely belong here, coming of mixed heritage or whatever. And I realized no matter what I did, I was always pissing one person off at least. And so I think I finally came to the conclusion that it doesn't matter what I do, it seems I'm either angering my stepmother or I'm like, there's always someone that is getting pissed off. So I think in a way, it was a blessing because I realized then, well, if I'm going to piss someone off anyway,
Mm.
then just chill. Then just do whatever you want, and the rest will fall into place. So I think that was a realization that started very young, which is why I got the label of, oh, she's a rebel, she's this, she's that. It wasn't that I was looking to be rebellious. Okay, ooh, what's the next rebellious thing I can do? It was just
Mm.
like, I'm going to do what I think serves me right now, whatever that is.
I mean, you
So
were always like an anomaly in the system. You know what I mean?
for that very reason, right? For that,
Ah.
yeah, and it wasn't that I didn't want to follow what everyone else was doing. It was a deliberate thing. Oh, I want to do something different. I
Mm.
think I genuinely didn't like systems that were in place, and arrogantly, I felt I could do it better. And belief, a very strong belief system. Now, where that belief system came from, I honestly, I don't know. I don't know. It was just very much, um, I don't know if it was a belief system. It was, I haven't been blessed with the spirit of fear. It's like, it didn't matter whether I'm going to succeed or fail. I'm
Yeah.
going to do it and we'll see what happens when we get there. So, I mean, you know this from me, right? I've always been the kind of person, jump in first and we'll ask the questions later, right?
Mm.
And
Mm.
that's always been the way I operate. Like, yeah,
Mm.
of course I'll do
Mm.
it, and we'll figure out how to do it along the way, and we'll learn the lessons along the way. And I think that helps make it a unique journey.
Was there someone in your life who you saw as a rebel?
So if you look at my lineage, my grandmother was British, like darling British, okay?
Yeah.
And she came
Like
down to
Gori
India,
British.
Goribe, like proper, like,
Ah.
mind your manners, Bera, Nimbupani Lado, one of those.
Okay.
And my grandfather was Indian, and they both got married at a time where for a Britisher to
Mm,
cohort with the natives was at a time where signs were still outside the clubs that said dogs and natives not
yeah.
allowed, right?
So they were
And
basically your father was Anglo-Indian? Your mother was
yeah,
Anglo?
my father
Acha.
was Anglo-Indian basically,
Okay.
and my mother was Swiss, right?
Acha.
So, although I never met her physically, she left when I was 6 months old, so I never actually met her. But
Hmm.
so I have the lineage of rebellion coming from there, right? Because these guys were both excommunicated from their families for falling
Hmm.
for each other, whatever. My
Yeah.
father, my mother, Swiss, left Switzerland with her two Alsatian dogs and uh, traveled to Nepal and India and Pakistan, which is where she finally ended up, meeting my father. So
Acha.
there's clearly adventure and rebellion and challenging the norms that runs in my blood. They say
That's
"Khoon
true,
bolta hai."
actually.
They
Yeah,
say
that's
"Khoon
very.
bolta hai," so maybe it's part of my khoon. I don't know.
Ah, I see it. I
Yeah,
get it now. Huh, I get that. That makes sense because they
yeah.
were all non-conformists in some
All
way.
non-conformists, all non-conformists. So
Hmm.
I think, yeah, I think maybe subconsciously it was just written into my DNA in that sense.
So have you like come up with like a philosophy, something that you've always, okay, something that you've sort of lived by, in your own,
If
in
you're
these
not
experiences?
hurting someone, and even if it scares you, but it's something you want to do it anyway.
Okay.
Just do it.
Just
Look how you and I, like, okay, when you and I met, okay, we were attempting this massive project. I couldn't go on too far because of working, whatever. That's a
yeah,
whole
yeah.
story. But it was something that hadn't been done before. You
It was
signed
like
on.
90 episodes or something.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it was like a soap, a real
yeah,
soap, one
yeah.
of the first soaps of
Yeah,
Pakistan. You
yeah.
were directing it.
Under working conditions that would make slave labor kind of go,
Yeah,
okay, this is like kind of crazy, right? But we
yeah,
did it, right?
yeah.
We did it
Yeah.
anyway. We didn't know how it was going to happen. We didn't know what the outcome was going to be, but we jumped in and we did
Hmm.
it anyway, right? And I think whatever we did was fantastic. Like it was great work, whatever we did manage to do.
Yeah, to
Um,
give some context, it was a drama series, a soap, and she was directing it, and I was assisting her. And this was one of the early days of Hum TV. Well,
yes,
it was about to launch, actually, it didn't launch. It
yeah.
wasn't already on air at that
Yeah, yeah,
time.
yeah.
Anyway, but
But,
yeah,
but same concept, right? Same philosophy. Yeah, okay, we'll get through this. Let's just jump in and we'll figure it out along the way. And whatever we did figure it out. There were a lot of moving parts. So coming back to that's my philosophy. Just if something appeals to you, okay, go do it.
so how do you look at like what is your relationship with work?
With work.
Hmm.
If I'm not having fun, I'm not doing it right. Like
Hmm.
literally that's how I see it. Is if I'm not enjoying it, which is probably the reason why I could never be employed by anyone,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? I'm very much a self-employed personality because it needs to be fun. And yes, of course, there's mundane parts of it and there's boring parts of it, and those are things that are gonna help you get to the fun parts of it. It's
Hmm.
it's just structure. But overall, if you're not enjoying yourself with work,
Hmm.
you're doing the wrong thing. You need to find something that really aligns with who you are as a person. That's how I feel, and that's how I've made decisions and choices on projects or work that I want to do.
How do you think that this I mean, how's this affected your relationship with money? Like, this is the ultimate, the typical, well, I don't know kya kahein isko, but this is the problem with following your passion. Like as they say nowadays, अब कहते हैं कि भाई ये सब बातें अब तो नहीं अप्लाई हो सकती ये जमाने की
Mm,
बात है when people could
mm.
follow their passion and maybe obviously the sacrifice is that you don't have stability
Yeah, yeah,
financially.
yeah.
So how did that change over time for you, like the way you approached money and financial stability?
So I tend to have a very abundance mindset. I'm one of those woo-woo people who actually believes in manifesting things. And it's worked for me so far.
Mm,
However, having said that, so for example, I love the performing arts, right? I love theater. I love being able to do film and, everything concerning that.
mm,
However, being in Pakistan, it was actually easier to make money because I had a name and a reputation to back me. In the
yeah.
States, what do I do? Walk in someone and go, hello, I'm Ayesha Alam. You should be hiring me. And they'd be like, yeah, we don't care, right?
Yeah.
So for example, for 10 years, I've been here 12 years now, for 10, 11 years, all of that went on the back burner. I didn't
Mm,
do anything with it because practically it just was not financially responsible to do so. Okay.
mm, mm,
However, last year I acted in one play, it was about Palestine, and of course there's a cause involved. And of course, you know me, I love my causes, so I was down with
mm,
that. And then this year, one of my New Year resolutions was I am going to really get in alignment with my passions and what I really, really love and enjoy doing.
mm, mm.
Having said that, I am also very aware it doesn't pay the bills yet, right? So I need a practical side thing that's going to give me flexibility. So again, it's about looking at your lifestyle. Well, what do I want? Do I want flexibility? Do I want a steady income? Do I want da da da? Right now, where I am in my life, I have been blessed that I have someone that covers my bills. And so I'm building a realtor business that's going to hopefully give me enough. um my aim is for legacy wealth, right? Eventually. But
Yeah.
it's going to help support my dreams as well, which is the
Mm,
performing arts and the theater and the our community, brown voices, having those,
mm.
right? Especially in Trump's America. Like I feel it's so important. So it's
Yeah.
kind of interesting how I'm marrying my need for a cause with my passion for art. And of course, then you've got my at the base of it, my realtor business to kind of back everything up. So you've got
Yeah.
to figure out a way, and being in the realtor business is great because it gives me flexibility. I can choose to do one thing or not do it. Like I get to decide my
Mm.
hours. I get to decide all of that.
Yeah.
So
I think for
it's just
women, it's
finding what
always
works.
about that. For women, it's always about that
It's a
balance,
balancing act. It
figuring it
always is.
out,
I mean, if it's not
knowing the
work,
balance.
then it's your family, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you've got to figure out what works for you, and it's going to be a very individual thing, very individual thing.
Mm. Mm.
And there's seasons, Neri, like for you, like I love that you're stepping into the season for yourself. You know me, I was like so excited when you told me you were doing
I
it.
know.
Because
Yeah.
and recognizing that there are seasons, and then when the season is changing, to not be afraid and just step into it.
I want to learn this. The thing is that I'm trying to find it's called BeyGhum Begums because in a way I'm looking for women who are fearless. I think that women get more fearless with age, and well, pretty much. I think there's some point where just all of it just finishes. Like all the fears just,
Yeah,
एकदम से सारा you just become yourself and you don't care anymore.
yeah.
कि ये मैं बस मैंने जो कहना है मैंने कहना है. Everyone
I
can do
love what you said just there, right? I don't care anymore. So first
that.
question I would ask you is, well, what are you caring about? And what is the worst case scenario? And if that happened, what would happen? So what?
Yeah, I know. It took me like 4 years of therapy to understand that कि क़यामत नहीं आ रही. हर
हाँ,
वक्त क़यामत नहीं आ रही. And I think that
हाँ.
is, I don't know why we have, maybe it's a cultural thing. I think that we are
I
always like,
think
oh
it's
my
a
God,
cultural thing.
oh,
Yeah,
oh, ये
yeah.
क्या हो गया? Oh,
हाँ,
hi,
हाँ.
you know,
Hi ho.
oh, hi, oh, hi. Is the
हाँ,
maybe I
हाँ.
should have called this show oh, hi.
Ho.
Getting over the oh, highs of
Yeah,
life.
yeah, yeah. No, but you're right. It is very much a cultural thing, and
Yeah.
especially in really conservative Desi backgrounds, right? And like for me, I think I was blessed in the sense of because I had a multicultural household, although my father was pretty ho-hi as well, okay? When it
Hmm.
came to his daughters, he was a complete villager, complete dehati. And that's something he admitted to himself. Um, but again, if you think about go back to the first thing I said, where no matter what you do, there's going to be someone who's going to get pissed off. So if you're pissing someone off anyway,
Hmm.
fuck
That's
it.
true.
Sorry,
That's true.
I'm speaking French
I
here,
know.
but yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and then wait, I think for me, honestly, I think once you over 40, you're like, you start seeing it. You start seeing that I've been carrying a lot of like, baggage which like and this whole is on myself which I didn't need to.
They weren't
And
your burdens.
nobody is
Yeah.
gonna say anything. कुछ भी नहीं होने वाला. कोई
Mm-mm.
कुछ नहीं करने वाला आपके साथ. आप क्या कर लेंगे और क्या क्या
Yeah.
हो जाएगा अगर आपने ये नहीं किया या आपने
Huh.
मतलब कोई कोई किसी चीज से डरता है, कोई कहता है कोई शादी चलाना किसी के लिए वो मुश्किल होता है, कोई किसी के लिए अपने लिए काम इन देयर वर्क दे वांट टू फाइंड देमसेल्फ, दे वांट टू परस्यू देयर करियर्स, वो नहीं करते कि नहीं छोड़ो पता नहीं कहीं क्या वो कहेंगी या वो ये कौन कहेगा. there's just there's so many things that women keep putting aside, thinking that someone's going to be upset. I own this life. Like
Yeah.
I don't चाहे whatever the context is, just कि चाहे आप in terms of your family context, in terms of your marriage context, your whatever, इज्जत respect and all of these things ये culture में जो है वो ownership आपको नहीं मिलती तो नहीं है. I think
You got to
लड़कों को
take
तो
it.
मिल
No one
जाती है.
gives it to you. But Nettie, no one gives it to you. You've got to take it. No one will give it to you. Because why
Actually
would
लड़कों को भी
they?
नहीं मिलती उस तरह. मतलब yeah, it's just that they're raised in a way where they always know they have that entitlement
Right.
to sort of step up and say कि नहीं मेरी authority है किसी चीज
Huh.
में.
It's
हम लोग
interesting you say
authority
that.
figures बनते नहीं.
Huh.
Women, it takes a long time for us to step into that space के जहाँ हम कहें कि हम authority, we're an authority on this, or this is what I feel or this is what I believe, and deal with it kind of, कि हाँ मैं ऐसी हूँ, मतलब चाहे मैं गलती
Huh.
कर रही हूँ चाहे मैं गलत सोच रही हूँ या मैं
हाँ
सही सोच
ऐसे
रही
ही
हूँ.
है. हाँ.
This mistake is my mistake,
Yeah.
this
Yeah. And I'm okay
that
with that. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Also,
the thing.
I mean, you said लड़कों को ज़्यादा मिलती है. I think a lot of men, I was actually speaking to a colleague the other day and we were talking about gaslighting, right? Like we know about gaslighting, of course. I never thought about this, but even boys get gaslit a lot, right? If you look at
Hmm.
conservative families, what is a boy's purpose? To provide. That is your only purpose in life, is to provide.
Hmm.
Anything else is kind of considered insignificant, unimportant, not
Hmm.
relevant.
Hmm.
And that's why you have so many, excuse my French, fucked up men because they've been brought up in that kind of environment, right? They've never
Hmm.
learned to actually emotionally express themselves and whatever. Anyway, that's a whole different thing. But I think it's very much a cultural thing
Hmm.
where for some reason the older generation feel that they have the right to dictate what the next generation should do.
Hmm.
And I think it's
And the next generation,
and the next
grandchildren
generation.
be.
Yes, yes. However, we're seeing pushback now, right? Like I'm seeing the Gen Zs are really pushing back. And it's funny because I have to watch myself. So for example, my daughter Rachel just got married like last year. And
Hmm.
there's a very strong side of me that wants to say, when am I gonna have a grandchild? And I have to
I
like
know.
and I literally have to like stop myself and not ask.
Huh.
Like it's a very conscious choice. I'm not
Hmm.
going to ask her because it's not my business. It's her family. It's her life. She gets to decide when she wants to start a family. But I have to, like, in my brain,
Yeah.
literally have a
Yeah.
conversation with me and say,
Huh.
Aisha, we're not doing that. We don't do
Yeah.
this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I think the
Yeah.
generation
She needs
before us,
her space to figure herself out.
and even if she wants a family, and I know that sounds like, what? That's even an if,
I नहीं ये बात हाँ.
right? It would be
Yeah.
heartbreaking for me as the mother, but
I
it's not my life. It's
yeah.
hers and it's her journey and what she wants to create for herself. But
Hmm.
literally, my programming is such that I want to ask those questions because it's how I'm conditioned with
Hmm.
how I was brought up, right? And so
Hmm.
I have to have, I'm like, I'm breaking that cycle. I am not going to I've had this conversation with her because it's not my business.
Yeah.
But
I get
हमारे
that.
जो माँ बाप थे, they did not have that kind of awareness. They did not have that kind of thinking as
Yeah.
such, right? And we all do, I think, the best we can with the tools we have at the moment.
That's true. I mean, I think ये हमारी generation में थोड़ा सा acceptance of therapy has also helped. I mean, I keep
Sure.
bringing this up because it has saved me.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it saved me
it has
countless
saved me,
times. Yeah, yeah,
वही because sometimes you just need someone to sort of mirror you and understand, and आप उसको खुद देखते हैं कि अच्छा ये looking at yourself inside outside, it's an interesting exercise. I think
mm,
it benefits you. उसमें कोई नुकसान नहीं है किसी का, अगर
yeah.
वो therapy कर ले तो कोई बुरी बात नहीं है. Promoting therapy here, yes. So
I think one of the most powerful questions that actually a mentor asked me, this is of course maybe 5 years ago. She
Hmm.
said, Aisha, if you, where you are today, if you could look back at 5-year-old you,
Yes.
what
I
would
was gonna ask that too, yeah.
yeah, what would you say to her, right?
Hmm.
And that was a really interesting, like it got me really emotional because I was like, oh my gosh. And she said, have you become the kind of person that would have protected her? And it's like
Yeah.
100% yes, because that's showing evolving, right? And then when we look to the future, she goes, can you imagine what you like, who would you be 5 years from now? And what would that person say to you today where you are right now?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's all going to be okay. Like just trust and know that you've got the right instincts and you're going to be okay. And I think just reminding oneself of that
Mm.
has just been
Mm.
so yeah, it's been interesting. And for me, I think as I've gotten older, and especially, I'm what, 56 years old now, Neri, right? And I'm entering a new chapter of my life.
I didn't even know actually.
Yeah,
I just
I'm
assumed you're older than me. That's it.
definitely older than you, 56 years old. And the
Mashallah.
stories, thank you. The stories I started hearing in my head was, oh my God, I'm 4 years away from 60. I'm entering a new chapter of my life.
Wow.
Like I suddenly for the first time started doubting, and I've never doubted myself in all of
Mm.
these years, but now as I'm getting older and how what we think 60 should look
Mm.
like or what we think our late 50s should look like, right?
Mm.
You settled by then and life should have been sorted out, and now you sail off into the sunset and it's all hunky dory. I think that has been really interesting for me as an older woman going, huh, but why am I
Mm.
thinking that? Why am I thinking that I should now be fading out slowly? As an older woman, one starts to feel more and more invisible, right? Because your kids are now blooming and they're doing their thing and they
Yeah.
are shining and they've got the spotlight as they should. However, does
Mm.
that mean that I am less relevant? And
Mm.
absolutely not. I still have
Interesting.
I still
Yeah.
have things to do.
Yeah. I mean, and considering you have always been comfortable with attention in that way, like, negative or positive, whatever, but to see yourself as sort of stepping away from attention and fading,
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
background. I know क्योंकि वो हमारे दिमाग में है ना कि हमारी नानी ऐसी होती थी, हमारी दादी ऐसी होती थी, yeah. But like you said, your daddy was very just
yeah,
outspoken and bold.
yeah.
So yeah, there are ways. Honestly, most older women are such badasses, like you said the other day.
100%. Yeah.
That's what I love. I love that, मतलब, I think the older you get, the less
The less fucks we
shit
give.
you हाँ मैं ये कहना चाह रही थी. Yes,
See,
हाँ.
you finally get to the point, Neri, where you will be able to say it without even any jijak, okay? Notice the no jijak on my end.
By 56 for sure I will be there. Inshallah.
Uh,
What do you think women should worry less about?
what other people think of them.
लोग क्या कहेंगे?
लोग क्या कहेंगे? लोग कहेंगे, वो जो मर्जी वो वैसे ही
हाँ.
कहेंगे. Who cares?
हाँ.
Cares? Why are you caring so much? Okay, let's say even if they कहे,
हम्म,
फिर
क्या हो
did
जाएगा?
did it change your did you stop getting food on your table? Did the world suddenly fall apart? Did a fire break? Did you self combust? No.
हम्म.
So even if they say something, okay. Like
हम्म.
my favorite response is like sometimes it'll happen on Facebook sometimes where someone will come in and they'll say something really stupid and inane. And I have come to the conclusion I'm now at the point where I will not even argue with that. I will simply go,
सही
okay,
बात है. कोई
uh,
बात नहीं आप या.
okay. Because when
Not
you
my
say
job to actually
okay,
change your mind.
it
हाँ.
is not. My job is not to fix you. And if that's where you want to live, good for you. I am not wasting my time or energy on trying to convince you otherwise. So my simple
हम्म.
response is okay. And I can see they get very frustrated because they were like hoping for a fight. And the thing is, I'm not even going to give you that. Sorry, it's not worth my time. Okay.
इतनी एनर्जी किसी के ऊपर जाया क्यों
नहीं,
करें?
हाँ, exactly.
चाहे वो
Exactly.
मोहल्ले वाले हों, चाहे वो सास ससुर हों, चाहे वो
It's
अम्मी
not
अब्बू भी
worth
हों,
it.
बहन भाई भी हों, जो
Ah.
भी हो.
So not to say it doesn't hurt. Obviously, I mean,
हम्म.
we're human, right? It does hurt.
It's frustrating.
It's
Yeah.
frustrating. However, we get to choose how we're going to respond. And that's taking ownership of that part, right? We get to choose how we're going to respond.
Yeah, it's very hard to take this. It seems simple. Again, it's a hard choice to make. It's a hard choice. कि आप, giving up fear is a hard choice.
See, I will not be able to answer that because, as I said, I don't know why I've just never been blessed with the spirit of fear. I just haven't, which is probably why it's gotten me into so many different troubling situations because it's like, okay, let's just do it. And it's like, okay,
Mm.
like caution, she
You
throws
live and you
caution to the
learn.
wind. I live and I learn. And
Huh.
and and I'm okay with that. And I've loved every step of the journey. Has it been painful sometimes? Absolutely. Have
Mhm.
I grown from it? 100%.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I think my spirit just loves to experience.
And this is why I needed to have this session with you. I needed to
Conversation.
I need yeah, I think this podcast is like how does Nariman learn to be fearless more than so that's why and become a begum and really step into my begumness, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm so thankful that you took out this time. I know you have like insane amounts of things going on, and I still remember your list or like I had never seen a production list like that when you like with the list of like scenes and continuities and locations and खाना और पता नहीं क्या costumes and पता नहीं क्या क्या कुछ था उसमें. And I mean I know you are mega organized, and I think that's another thing that I've loved about you. And I know you have a lot of always a lot on your plate, so
Always.
thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you
Thank you,
for
Neri. I've loved every minute
having
of
this
this.
little
You are awesome. Thank you.
session with you. Thank you.
All right.
See you soon,
All right.
inshallah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.